Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. And we're going to be doing this video here where we're talking about the Texas government is just wanting to ban what you would call just wants to ban political memes, which is insane, right? So we're going to be going over it, and I don't think this makes any bloody sense. I don't know why they would want to do this. Political people should be able to do this and stuff like that. I can kind of see the reasoning for it, but again, it's kind of crazy. So what we have here is from the Daily Post saying, anger as U.S. state passes bill to criminalize political memes, offenders risk jail term. So as the Texas House of Representatives has passed a bill aimed at criminalizing political memes, the bill, HB 366 or 366, would imprison offenders for a minimum of 1 year if the meme does not have a government-approved disclaimer. The bill was sponsored by the lawmaker representing District 21 and former Speaker of the House, McDade Phila. The development has been generating anger on social media, with several people condemning the move. And next user McSullivan wrote, wow, 106 members of the Texas House want to censor your political memes. Memes unpopular with politicians will now be subject to scrutiny by the speech police at the Texas Ethics Commission. You live in Texas. Do you know that the GOP legislature under Rhino Republican boroughs Texas has just passed Bill 366? Yeah, so people are not happy with this, right? And rightfully so. Okay, we have this here from the report saying the Texas House just passed HB 366, a bill that criminalizes political memes. You heard that right. 1 year in jail if your meme doesn't have a government-approved disclaimer. This is not election integrity. This is an all-out war on free speech. The bill targets any altered media of showing a political doing something that didn't happen that includes satire, parody, even radio comedy. The Texas Ethics Commission will control the font, size, and color of your disclaimer. They're literally regulating how you joke. Attorney Tony McDonald says it best. This bill is obviously unconstitutional. It criminalizes protected speech based on content. HB 366 turns Texas into California with cowboy boots. This is about protecting voters. It isn't about silencing critics. It's about punishing political mockery. It's about narrative control. Texas was supposed to define liberty. Instead, it's branding speech as criminal. Welcome to the era of compelled speech. Mock the regime, you are now a criminal. Your poster means twice while you still can. So, again, this is
something deeply un-American just happened in Texas. The Texas House, under Republican leadership, just passed a bill that would make political memes a crime. I'm not exaggerating. House Bill 366, introduced by Dade Phelan, would throw you in jail for sharing political satire, memes, AI clips, parody, unless you include a government-approved disclaimer. 1 year behind bars if you don't follow the format, the font, the size, and the color dictated by the state. This bill claims to protect election integrity. In reality, it's protecting fragile politicians from public scrutiny. The language is so broad, it criminalizes any altered media where a politician appears to do or say something they didn't actually do, which is the literal definition of a meme.
Is Mr. Phelan to explain the bill?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 366 is a step towards transparency and integrity in political advertising. Move passage.
Question occurs on passage to engrossment. Question occurs. The question occurs on passage to engrossment of HB 366. Record vote has been requested. Record vote is granted. The clerk will ring the bell. Show Mr. Moody voting aye. Show Ms. Jones of Harris voting aye. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? There being 106 ayes and 39 nays, HB 366 is passed to engrossment. The chair lays out on second reading HB 466.
And guess who enforces it? The Texas Ethics Commission, a politically connected agency that now gets to decide whether your humor is lawful. That's not regulation. That's narrative control. That's compelled speech. That's the state branding your joke with a warning label, or branding you a criminal. Attorney Tony McDonald, who actually litigates First Amendment cases, called it what it is, unconstitutional.
You can spend as little as $100 in this state on a political sign. So if I went to the hardware store and bought, lumber and paint, and I put a sign in my yard that said, vote Abbott, right? And I spent $100 doing that, that would actually trigger a reporting requirement on my behalf. If I printed up some flyers in my own home and then I went and distributed those to my neighbor. That could require certain disclosures and disclaimers and filings with the Ethics Commission. And so what happens is, if some person who doesn't like you, if you start to become effective and some person doesn't like you, they can file a complaint with the Texas Ethics Commission. The commission, if that complaint fits their form requirements, so even if the stuff in there is not true, if it's just the allegations fit the form requirements, they hold that they must open an investigation, and you must cooperate in that investigation. You have no Fifth Amendment right to protect yourself. You must answer the charges against you. You must travel to Austin.
Courts have made it clear satire is protected speech. Parody is political speech. And no politician, especially not a Republican, has the right to silence mockery because they didn't like the punchline. Let's not kid ourselves. This bill isn't about protecting voters. It's about punishing dissent.
It's also about making sure politicians are safe and you can't criticize them. This is see, when people go out and say, like, well, you always attack the left. You always go after the left. Why do you never go after the right? Well, this is me going after the right here. This is me saying that Texas has egregiously encroached on the First Amendment and our constitutional right to freedom of speech. And this man should not only be in jail for trying to encroach and get rid of freedom of speech, but as shows as a marker is that you cannot do this. This is insane here. You cannot, this should not even be allowed to pass at all, because this is just protecting politicians. This is making sure politicians can't be questioned or made fun of for what they've done. The memes are an example of expression of what they've done, or to criticize them in a playful manner. And this is not like attacking politicians in a threatful way, but they're harming freedom of speech here. This is the reason why I cannot stand I cannot stand Republicans, because they are also the arbiters and the true ones of actual going after people for freedom of speech in general. Laura Loomer says, wow, what the hell is going on in Texas? The rhinos are destroying Texas, banning free speech, promoting Islam, and blocking GOP legislation. Perhaps it's time for President Trump to intervene and speak out about this insanity in Texas, where the GOP controls the legislature. It's okay. It's like, again, this is insane here. It's quite insane. So I don't know what we're doing here. And of course, if you go to the TexasTory.com, like, let's see here, for Dave Fillings with criminalize political memes, guess what happens? This happens, right? I'm going to put this because it hurts my eyes. But this happens. You cannot go to this site. You go to this one here, you cannot go this. Why is it you cannot? It's for whatever reason, this is down. Why is it down? So obviously, the Texas government has to be terrified or scared, because if that wasn't the case, then why is the site down showing on what this man is doing? This should immediately be removed post haste, and whoever brought this bill up should be the one criminalized for going after the Constitution. This is the reason why I cannot stand Rhino Republicans. They're the bane of our country, and these people need to be removed. If you honestly think that I'm going to support this just because a Republican did it, you're sadly mistaken. All right, I'm almost a free speech absolutist. You can do almost and say anything that you want and be free of it. But the problem that I have here is that this is restricting freedom of speech. This is restricting your ability to say what you want. That's insane to me. What are we doing here, Texas? Like, this is completely absurd. And again, we have this here, what the actual bill, what we have says, posting a political meme would soon land you in jail if State Dave Filing gets his way. House Bill 3366 would make it a crime to distribute altered media, including political memes, without a government-approved disclaimer. Violators could face up to a year in jail. This is insanity, guys. This is insanity. And it's even worse. It's even worse that the website is not currently working. That's insane. So the only other way we could possibly end up doing this, right, in all regard to actual view this website here, because since it's not working, we have to do a workaround. So we do this to show what's actually going on here. It says the State Affairs Committee will take up the bill by the former Speaker of the House on Wednesday, alongside a slate of energy transmission legislation. It is the first hearing of the Committee on Legislation this session. The bill specifically targets political advertising that features an image audio recording or video recording of an office holder's or candidate's appearance, speech, or conduct that did not occur in reality. This broad language includes media altered using generative artificial intelligence technology. The Texas Ethics Commission, we have the authority to determine the specific format, font, size, and color of the required disclaimer. Critics say the legislation raises serious First Amendment concerns, which it does. Fort Worth Attorney Tony McDonald, who specializes in First Amendment legislation, blasted the measure, saying it's amazing that this ridiculous bill is a top priority of the Texas House most powerful committee. This bill is obviously unconstitutional. It would criminalize protected speech on the basis of its content. Notably, the legislation could have sweeping implications beyond political advertising. For example, the Drunk Date priority calls in on Michael Berry's radio program, which seemingly be criminalized under the proposed law, as they involve audio recordings that portray on officeholder speech in a way that did not occur in reality. Additionally, the bill leaves questions about enforcement and selective prosecution. Courts have routinely struck down laws that regulate political discourse based on content, citing the First Amendment's strong protections for satire and parody. Exactly. Of course, Phelan did not respond to the request for comment because he is obviously the one that is going after the First Amendment. He doesn't care. He care less. And this is the problem that we have with this company, with these Rhino Republicans. Plain and simple. And another thing that we could also say as well, the Democrats are going to abuse this maliciously. They're going to do this horribly because, again, when you have this here, it may not mean Democratic politicians, but I wouldn't put it past them, to where they will use this bill to go after their political opponents so that way they can't go after it. Like they'll do it for example, Donald Trump, but he doesn't reside in Texas, so that would be fine. But a lot of people that do reside in Texas, you can go after them for whatever memes, for whatever memes or political stance. That's insanity here. I cannot believe that this is something that's happening in Texas. And another reason why that we have to always check our government, regardless of which side we're on, because this is insanity here. This is insanity. And like I said, the left will use this to go after their political opponents and jail them for these things, and it's only going to be bad. Like I said, Dade Phelan, you are a monster. You are anti-constitutional. You are anti-free speech, and you should be jailed for going against it. This is insane. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.